This game will be the first post-merger NFC East champion with fewer than 10 wins. That's the way this division is used to be rolling, if you will. Conventional wisdom does have it that all Tony Romo needs to quiet his voluminous naysayers is a successful playoff run or even, yes, a Super Bowl trophy. A theory to which his quarterback counterpart in tonight's all-or-nothing contest might say, in essence, yeah, right. You see, Eli Manning did win a Super Bowl for the Giants and was the MVP of that Super Bowl, and just this past summer raised eyebrows in New York for merely suggesting he was an elite quarterback. Such is the lot in life for these two Pro Bowlers, each of whom needs a win tonight to at least keep people off their backs. Or not.
Hot topic today, Tony Romo versus Eli Manning.
So we're going to take Romo versus Eli phone calls?
Sunday's game from the quarterback perspective.
They are two of the most scrutinized quarterbacks in the NFL.
I'd give Romo the edge over Eli Manning.
Eli is good enough that if you give him all day, he will eventually pick you apart.
But debates about whether Eli Manning and Tony Romo are clutch enough to lead their teams to victory tonight often traffic in perceptions and visceral emotions.
The fan perception on Romo is that he's a choker.
They view him as a guy who makes mistakes when it matters most.
He has a history of agonizing defeats. Then he starts it off with the Jets game.
Intercepted, picked up by Revis.
Follows it up with the Detroit game a little bit later.
It's 2 pick sixes for the Detroit Lions.
And everyone's mind was made up there that, okay, here we go.
This guy's not getting better with age like a fine wine. Romo ripped my heart out again.
Tony Romo's reputation mostly comes from the fact that in December he's not been very good historically. He's 7-10 in December with a passer rating of about 80, which is not very good.
For Cowboys fans, memories of those Decembers past far outweigh the reality from Romo recently.
Tony Romo has led 4 game-winning drives this season.
Romo's going to play fake and stand back. Oh, he's got Holly all alone. Dragged down at the 2.
To call Tony Romo a guy who can't deliver at the end of a game or at the end of a season based on a few incidents, I think is really foolish.
The bar is so high in the city.
Dallas, your Cowboys are the champions.
If we compared every new president to George Washington and Abraham Lincoln, would any president ever have a chance? I mean, think about how insane that is historically. Well, in Dallas, George Washington's name is Roger, and Abraham Lincoln's name is Troy. And good luck, Tony.
It's back to throw. He looks middle, he throws middle to the goal line. Touchdown, Jake Ballard.
This is as good a quarterback performance in the clutch as I have seen in a long, long time.
In New York, perception of Manning as a more clutch and reliable quarterback than Romo is pervasive, even though Romo bests Manning this season in passer rating and touchdowns.
Tony Romo, Eli Manning, who do you want on your side in the fourth quarter? And that's the easiest question I've been asked. Give me Eli Manning.
If you look at Tony Romo this year versus Eli Manning this year, Romo looks to be the stronger quarterback on quite a few dimensions. But if the measure of a clutch quarterback is the ability to stay cool at the end of the game, lead his team back from a deficit, then Eli Manning is kind of king clutch.
Eli proved that he was a clutch quarterback based upon the run to the Super Bowl.
And here is Manning throwing for the end zone. Touchdown, Bush! The Giants are the Super Bowl champs.
If Eli never wins another big game in his career, he's always going to have that.
So, fair or not, for Tony Romo, tonight's battle is as much against the fans' perception of him as a choker as it is against Eli Manning and the New York Giants.
I think there's a lot of people that realize he's having the best year of his career, but there's just as many people screaming that it's the same old Romo and the same old Cowboys.
I have absolutely no confidence going into this game.
It's hard to trust Tony Romo going into one of these games.
People are jaded with Tony. Until he wins something, people won't have that opinion of him.
It's kind of perception, reality, and that fine line. You know, people aren't talking about the fact that Eli Manning is coming off of his 2 worst
Intercepted!
But do I trust him on Sunday night? Yes.
So in terms of clutch performances, we took a look at their careers, fourth quarter, and the game within 4 points or less, right? So that means your quarterback needs to go down the field, maybe get a touchdown, a game-time field goal, or win the game. Both quarterbacks are over 500. Both quarterbacks have completion percentage of 60% or more. Both are on the plus side of touchdown-interception ratio, and Romo darn near has a 100 passer rating.